So in today's video, I'll be talking about some of the things I wish I knew before moving out. So if you're thinking about moving out, then I think you should watch this video. The first thing I wish I knew before moving out is that it is not easy. Honestly, from trying to get your money right, from looking for apartment, trying to set up yourself, getting the right apartment, talking to agents, it's just not easy. And you know, I never thought it would be this difficult. It's been almost getting to a year since I moved out. You're definitely going to face a lot of challenges trying to just do like basic things, like I said, like finding the right apartment, talking to agents. I feel like almost everywhere in the world we have this housing issue. Even like I stay here in Nigeria, and there's like, you know, the housing issue in Nigeria. I stay in Abuja, there's a housing issue in Abuja, Lagos, everywhere. It's just not easy trying to get a place, or even get in the right place, or a place that suits your taste. So you know, you're definitely going to face a lot of challenges, which is something that I wish I knew. I never knew it was going to be this difficult, but it was really difficult moving out. Apart from the finances, you're definitely going to go through a lot of like mental stress, you know, mental and physical stress from just making sure that everything is right. So it is not easy. The second thing I wish I knew is that the bills don't stop. Honestly, you are going to pay for everything. I never knew that this is how I'm just going to be paying for stuff. Pay for this, pay for that, pay for this, pay for that. You know, you're going to pay for light, gas, you're going to pay for food. Make sure that you have food in your house, because like for me, coming from living with my parents, it was very easy for me to, you know, eat. There's free food at home, you know, I'm not paying for gas and some of all these things. But you know, living by yourself, you have to make sure that all these things affect you, and you have to make sure that you pay these bills, because if you don't pay these bills, you are definitely not going to enjoy your stay. You know, something as little as your gas, you know, if you don't have gas, you can't cook. You know, something as little as electricity bill, you know, if you don't pay for your electricity bill, you can't charge your phones, you can't charge your device, you can't charge your camera. How would you even make content? So there's just so much stuff. Maintenance, you know, the other time I had like light issues and my bulbs got burnt, and I spent some money just trying to fix bulb. I never even knew that bulbs have become this expensive. So the bills don't stop coming, which is something that I thought that maybe if I just move into my house, pay the rent, and just buy some of the things that I need, I'll be fine. But no, the bills keep coming, and the bills come every fucking time. You are not going to stop paying bills. I think you should just put that in mind. If you're thinking about moving out, just put that in mind. You're not going to stop paying bills, because the bills would always keep coming. The third thing I wish I knew before moving out is that it is lonely. Honestly, coming from living with people in the house, you know, living with my family, being with my sisters, to just living by myself, it is extremely lonely, like really lonely. Because right now I go to work, come back, it's just myself, or maybe sometimes I'm at home creating, it's just me by myself. I'm already used to staying with people, and it's just not easy to cope just living by myself. You know, sometimes I don't think it's even sometimes, a lot of times it get really lonely. There are times that my friends will come around, and I'll have a great time, talk, gist and laugh and stuff like that. But honestly, it gets really lonely, because you're just all by yourself, and sometimes you crave human company. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think humans were created to be alone, because I feel like we're created to work in group or work in a pair or something like that. But it's really crazy, because like you have to just, you know, just being by yourself, it's not going to be easy, which is something that I think I wish I knew before moving out. I never knew it was going to be this lonely. I thought that, oh yeah, it's good to have your own space. You get to that stage where you're like, oh, you want to have your own space, then you have your own space, and you're like, oh my god, it's so lonely having my own space. Just me every time, just you. There was even a time I had to just Google how to deal with loneliness. It was somehow getting to me emotionally, because like it was just me by myself, and it's hard. It was just hard coming from living with my sisters, living with my family, to just being by myself. I found it very difficult, and even till now I'm still finding it very difficult to cope with it. You know, some of the things I do is like sometimes have my friends over, you know, sometimes go out, sometimes I'm just creating something like this, making this YouTube video. You know, it helps just take your mind off the fact that you are lonely and you're just by yourself. You know, just finding ways to just deal with the boredom, because when you're alone, you just quickly get bored whenever you're alone. So which is something I wish I knew. It's really lonely. So keep that in mind if you are thinking about moving out. The fourth thing I wish I knew before moving out is that your neighbors are your friends, or your neighbor is your friend. I never knew how important it is to, you know, have neighbors, or have, you know, great neighbors, or just have your neighbors with you until I moved out. If anything happens to you, your neighbor will be the first to know, your neighbor will be the first to call, because it's the person next door, right? So it's very important to have great neighbors, it's also very, very important to just keep that neighbor relationship. Your neighbors are, most likely to, be there for you when there's a need, when you need someone to be there for you. Sometime this week, we were having issues with the water, and I came back home, I didn't have water to bathe or anything. My neighbor gave me like 2 buckets of water that I used that night and the next morning. So just having neighbors around and just keeping that neighbor relationship, it's very, very, very important, because you always need your neighbors, because your neighbors are literally like your brothers and your sisters, because your family are not here, but they are the one like next door to you. So if anything goes wrong or goes right, they are the first that you definitely reach out to. Your neighbor is your friend, and it's definitely important to have that sort of like neighbor relationship. Neighbors are just so important. I never knew until I moved out. Yeah, and you should keep that in mind if you're thinking about moving out. The last thing I wish I knew before moving out is that moving out makes you become more responsible. I never knew I would be this like responsible, or even like financially accountable to myself. The thing is, if you live with your parents or your relatives, it's like you're not paying significant bill, you're not paying for rent, you're not paying for light or electricity, you're not buying gas. You might be helping, but you're not paying significant bills yet. So you are a little bit relaxed, because like bad as bad, you'll be fine. No matter what happens, you'll be fine. But for me, it's not like that. Moving out, I know that, I have a rent to renew. Moving out, I know that I have bills to pay, I have things to cover up. Like I just have a lot of things that I need to settle financially. So it has pushed me to work more. It has pushed me to be much more, should I say, hardworking. It has pushed me to be much more serious with whatever I'm doing. If I need gigs, I became more serious with marketing, reaching out to people and doing some of all those things, because I know that I have bills to pay. I don't want to go back to stay with my mom, or going back to stay with any relative, or going back to stay with someone. I love being by myself, apart from the lonely part, but I love being by myself. I just love the fact that I have my own space, and I just don't want to go back to my previous life living with someone or my family. So I'm trying as much as I can to just be much more responsible, to be serious with whatever I'm doing, be serious with my time, be serious with my money, be serious with the people I hang out with. It has made me much more responsible, which is something that I never knew. I'm not saying that I was irresponsible before, but it has made me a little bit more responsible, because now it's joke. But yeah, those are some of the things that I wish I knew before moving out. If you're thinking about moving out, I know you are going to learn 1 or 2 things from this video. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.